Hello and welcome back to another edition of World Chronicle. And here at United Nations headquarters in New York today to interview our guest are three news correspondents for Interpress Service, the Third World News Agency, Peggy Wilkins of the International Staff of the Wall Street Journal, and Prem Shankar Yar, editor, Financial Express, New Delhi.
President, the question I have to ask you today concerns your statement this morning to the General Assembly. I'm referring, of course, to your...
Well, that's for you to judge how I have been received. The least developed countries are really badly affected as a result of the general inflation all over the world. On the one hand, we are paying far too much price for oil, and on the other hand, we are having to get from the developed countries finished products at higher and higher price. So we have to find out ways and means by which we can balance up this maladjustment. And it is with this objective that I suggested.
I'd like to ask you about the commodity agreements. Does Bangladesh stand to gain from those? And what do you think of the prospects for coming to some commodity agreements out of the UN session?
You just clearly say what you would like to know.
Okay, the agreements that would stabilize prices of commodities, and I assume that you would benefit through jute, for your jute, and for your United Nations is about to do in terms of stabilizing commodity prices, and how Bangladesh could benefit?
Yeah, thank you very much. We find that for our raw products, countries like us are mainly exporting raw material. And for this, unfortunately, we are getting lesser price or not attractive price. So if an agreement like this is reached through negotiations and understanding, it is going to help countries like ours reasonably well and keep our export balanced.
Your exports that would benefit would be jute, tea?
Yes, jute, tea, leather.
The talk in the corridors of the UN and amongst many delegates is that we might see a split here in the group of 77, forming a least developed country bloc to try and move away, a coalition of some sort to deal specifically with your set of problems. To ask is, it was hinted by U.S. Ambassador McHenry what the content of your speech would be and that we should watch it closely. Were you consulting with the U.S. government on this, and was there any kind of deal that was struck?
The answer to your first question is that there's nothing like that. I don't think this has any prospect of splitting the group of 77. And let me tell you, we had no talks with anybody on this country.
Then how did Ambassador McHenry say with great confidence? He said, I don't want to steal the thunder of President Ziaur, who will be talking to you a little later. You should listen to the speech being given by the President of Bangladesh and what he has to say about the energy question and the price of oil.
Well, I think you should ask him.
The British government curtailed government-to-government aid because of what they saw as some of the abuses. The rationing program tends to go to the urban population and to civil service. We respond to those criticisms, and what really is being done?
The object of our government is to gradually get rid of this rationing system, which is mainly concentrated in the urban areas, but we are trying to sort of distribute more and more in the rural areas. And lately we have started open market operation. Object is ourselves to become self-sufficient food so that we don't have to get really food from abroad. It's not a good thing.
But realistically, you are going to need additional food aid for the next several years.
We shall be self-sufficient in food earlier than anybody thinks, and we have taken certain measures on that count, and we are beginning to get the result. As far as
when do you expect?
In the next 2-3 years' time.
And do you think the British action will affect, well, the U.S. Food aid program?
With stubborn determination, Brennan reminds him once again.
Food aid by other countries will not be affected as a result. This is the time where we need support because we are trying to pick up and stand on our feet, and this is the time that friendly countries got to come forward and give us a helping hand in a big way.
I think most people have the assessment that not much is going to come out of it. which leaves Pakistan or Bangladesh very much in a situation like a lot of Asian assistance from the north or concessions by the north, and probably not much from OPEC. What does a country like yours follow that up on? What do you tell the world in terms of the things you are doing to meet your own energy needs within Bangladesh?
Good, I think that's a very good question. It's a very difficult problem, let me tell you. But this should not dishearten us. There should be less of pessimism and more of optimism. We're not sitting idle. We are developing our natural gas. We are going to bring gas under more utilization. We may sell natural gas as LNG and use natural gas as CNG.
Not well-wishers of either India or Bangladesh who would like to see a kind of
One track, however. You see, we are looking for oil on the land.
President Ziaur, we have to close the show, but we want to thank you for being with us today to answer our questions on this edition of World Chronicle.